All right, the next book on the list is Dear Substitute by Liz Garlton Scanlon and Audrey Vernick. Dear Substitute.
Dear Substitute, wow, this is a surprise. What are you doing here? Where's Mrs. Giordano? And why didn't she warn us? Dear Attendants, you're not quite right today. The substitute doesn't know how to pronounce anything. Poor Charvy and Betchy. Poor Ellie Andrea. Dear homework that I stayed up late doing, guess what? You're not being collected until Mrs. Giordano gets back. I could have shot more baskets last night after all. Dear Pledge, I pledge allegiance to Mrs. Giordano. I like her more today than I normally do. Dear Library, the substitute says we're not coming to you, even though it's Tuesday. And I remembered to bring my book back. The substitute brought books from home that she thinks we should check out. That's what she said, and then she laughed. Dear Turtle, we're supposed to clean your tank today. It's Tank Tuesday. Everyone knows that. The substitute says maybe tomorrow. Please don't explode or die of dirt or escape. P.S. Mrs. Giordano would never skip tank cleaning day. Dear Class Rules, we have you for a reason, and one of those rules should be the whole day can't be changed around by a sub named Miss Pelly. Pelly like a pelican, she told us, and then she laughed again. Miss Pelly doesn't take anything serious. Dear Line, yes, I do know I am supposed to be the line leader this week, especially since I was chair stacker last week. I'm sorry that you-know-who doesn't know how we do things in room 102. Dear Lunch, at least in here, everything's the same, including chocolate milk and trading food with Connor, even though trading food is not exactly allowed. Dear Miss Pelly, now you care about rules? How did you even see us swapping? I think you have what my mom has, back of the head eyes. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking about people being allergic to things. I was just thinking about Connor's yummy chips. Dear Tears, not here, not now. You understand. Dear Storytime, we usually only get you on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today is an extra. Miss Pelly says it's that kind of day. She says sometimes you have to mix things up a bit by reading strange little poems instead of the chapter book we were reading before. Dear World, it turns out I really like poetry, especially funny poetry. Especially funny poetry about pelicans and crocodiles and underwear. Dear Turtle, here's a poem I made up. A funny old friend is Turtle if he doesn't die of the dirtle. He's got a tough shell that helps him not smell. Tomorrow we'll get water and squirtle him. P.S. Miss Pelly helped. Dear Miss Pelly, I wonder what kind of food you bring in your lunch. I might write another poem. It might be about surprises and back of the head eyes and a switched around day that's A-OK and a substitute who likes kiwi fruit. P.S. Do you? Dear Mrs. Giordano, it's okay if you're not quite ready to come back tomorrow. We're doing fine. I mean, not exactly like if you were here, but sometimes you gotta mix it up a little, you know?
The end. The next book on the list is a good one. This one's called Chip and the Karate Kick. Chip and the Karate Kick by Anne Rockwell. Illustrated by Paul Meisel. Chip O'Hare wasn't very big, but he thought he was pretty tough. He wanted to be even tougher. He wanted to be as tough as Striper Me, whose TV show he never missed. He had a huge collection of Striper Me action figures, Striper Me trading cards, Striper Me comics, and a big Striper Me poster. Chip worked hard imitating things the world-famous martial arts champion did. Kicks, leaps, punches, karate chops, elbow strikes. When a karate school opened up in town, Chip was the first to sign up. His parents bought him a uniform called a gi with a long white belt to tie around his waist. On the first day of school, Chip, Morgan, and Nina Jane arrived at the same time. Chip bounded into the classroom doing kicks, leaps, punches, and elbow strikes, making the sort of ferocious noises Striper Me made. Hi-ya! Mr. Leo was the teacher. He wore a white gi, but his belt was black.
Wow, look at that. He's a black belt,
Chip said to Morgan and Nina Jane.
I can't wait to be one too, and you'll see I will be soon.
Good morning, Mr. Leo said to all the students. I'm Mr. Leo, your sensei in the dojo.
Huh? What is he talking about?
Chip asked Nina Jane.
Be quiet and listen. Maybe you'll find out,
she said. Sensei means teacher in Japanese. Dojo means classroom, Mr. Leo said. We use Japanese words for certain things here because karate is an ancient martial art invented in Japan. I will tell you its story. Chip groaned and sprawled across the carpet. He never liked keeping still. He didn't want to listen to a story. He was eager to start doing things Striper Me did. Long ago, Mr. Leo said, ordinary people on the island of Okinawa in Japan weren't allowed to have any weapons, although knights called samurais had sharp swords. Some samurais were bullies. People learned to defend themselves against them by inventing karate, which means empty fist. Karate is a way of defending yourself without weapons, but it's never used to start a fight. Always remember that. First, let's learn to sit with the eye of the tiger. Sit still and quietly on the floor. Cross your legs. Keep your back straight. Look me straight in the eye. As they sat, Mr. Leo showed them how to take slow, quiet, deep breaths. When Mr. Leo breathed in, his stomach poked out. When he let out his breath, his stomach poked in. He smiled as he breathed, slow and deep. Now, let's learn to count to 10 in Japanese, said Mr. Leo. Repeat after me. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyo, chu. Then Mr. Leo showed the class how to do front kicks and back kicks. They counted as they kicked.
Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyo, chu. When are we going to break things with our bare hands like Striper Me does?
Chip asked. Mr. Leo smiled. When you are ready. San, shi, go!
San, shi, go!
When class was over, Mr. Leo showed everyone how to bow. From now on, he said, each of you will work with a partner. You must bow to your partner when you begin practice and again when you finish. This is how you show respect for each other, even though you are opponents. Now please, bow to your sensei and say goodbye. As Chip walked home, he wondered if Striper Me had ever bowed to anyone. At the start of each class, Nina Jane bowed to Chip. Sometimes, Chip remembered to bow back. When he didn't, Nina Jane wiggled her nose to remind him. In each class, they learned something new. Mr. Leo taught them punching, kicking, side kicks, and roundhouse kicks. He taught them middle, high, and low blocks. He taught them elbow strikes and shuto, the knife hand. Chip had seen Striper Me break many things with that, but he had always called it a karate chop. Everyone in class shouted, "Height! as they kicked and punched. They counted
Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyo, jo
during their drills. On the day of the tournament, everyone's parents came to watch. Chip went first. He shouted, "Hi!" and broke a wooden board using shuto.
Now do I get a yellow belt?
He asked Mr. Leo. Mr. Leo smiled. When you are ready. Chip didn't understand. Nina Jane already had a yellow belt. Brendan did too. Chip knew he was better at karate than they were. When it was time for his next karate class, Chip didn't want to go. He was mad because Mr. Leo hadn't given him a yellow belt. How was he going to get a black belt if he didn't even have a yellow one? He knew he had to get a yellow one, then orange, blue, green, and brown before he could get a black one. It was taking too long. Chip went to the park at the end of his block. His neighbor, Melissa Bunny, was there, trying to fly her kite. Chip never played with Melissa. She was too little to do the things he liked to do. Soon, Bernie Bully came to the park. Chip never played with him either. He was too big and too mean. Bernie grabbed the kite from Melissa. He laughed when she started crying. Chip tried to grab the kite from Bernie, but big, tough Bernie Bully wouldn't let go. "Nyah, nyah! Just try to take it, Pipsqueak," said Bernie. He held onto the kite and kicked Chip. Chip was about to kick Bernie back when he had an idea.
Have it your way,
Chip said to Bernie.
but first I have to warm up.
He breathed deeply as Mr. Leo had taught him. He looked straight at Bernie with the eye of the tiger.
Hi, hi!
Bernie's mouth fell open as Chip shouted "Hi!" and gave a great roundhouse kick through the air.
Hi!
Chip made shuto as he aimed a front kick towards Bernie. Bernie was so scared, he dropped the kite and ran away. Chip grabbed the kite and gave it to Melissa. They took turns flying it. Then they walked home together.
You sure are good at karate,
Melissa said.
Thanks,
Said Chip.
I've been taking lessons. My sensei, that means teacher, has a black belt.
You should see him do shuto. That night at the Bunny family cookout, Chip saw Mr. Leo talking with Melissa. They talked for a long time. Chip decided to go back to his dojo the next day. This time, Nina Jane didn't have to remind him to bow. At the end of the class, Mr. Leo bowed to Chip. He handed him a brand new yellow belt to wear with his gi. Well done, Chip, said Mr. Leo. By helping Melissa, you showed that you are learning the spirit of karate. Your way to the black belt has truly begun. Wow, Chip said as he proudly tied it around his waist. Thanks, Sensei-o. The end. The next book on the list is called Croc-A-Daddy by Kim Normus, illustrated by Dave Walker. Croc-A-Daddy. Croc-A-Daddy for Kevin, our own beloved Croc-A-Daddy. For our Croco buddies Matthew and Joseph. Down in the pond by a mossy rock, something slithers past the dock. Minnows dart with startled jerks. This is where the Croc-A-Daddy lurks. Safe behind the rock, I see slight old Croc-A-Daddy smile at me. Fearlessly, I step in front, captain of the Croc-A-Daddy hunt. Croc-A-Daddy, Croc-A-Daddy, swim away fast. This day's swim could be your last. Out on the dock, I look below. Where'd that slippery Croc-A-Daddy go? There's a shadow, dark and wet. I'm gonna tame that Croc-A-Daddy yet. Tossing off my hat and pack, ha! I leap on Croc-A-Daddy's back. Croc-A-Daddy, Croc-A-Daddy, what you gonna do? Croc-A-Daddy Hunter is riding you. Water sprays like crystal whips. Croc-A-Daddy rumbles bubbly lips. Now he turns his head and winks. Slowly, slowly. Croc-A-Daddy sinks. Bloop, 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 bloop. Water rises, ripply blue, chills my laughing belly too. Even though he's still not tame, holding tight, I shout his name. Croc-A-Daddy, Croc-A-Daddy, can't get away. I'm on top and here to stay. Round my knees the water churns, splashing, thrashing, Croc-A-Daddy turns. Whips up waves that slap the shore, then lets out a Croc-A-Daddy roar. Such a roar that, oops, oh no, splash. I slip and in I go. Spitting water, now I see, hunting crocs is hard on me. Croc-A-Daddy, Croc-A-Daddy, just you wait. You're gonna bite a different bait. Let's just give it one more try. This time when he slithers by, I discover something new. Croc-A-Daddy's knees are ticklish too. That's how you tame a Croc-A-Daddy pet. You don't need a rope and you don't need a net. Croc-A-Daddy, Croc-A-Daddy, lying on the dock. I'm a little chip off the old lazy croc. The end. The next book on the list is a good one. It's called The Most Perfect Spot by Diane Good. The Most Perfect Spot by Diane Good. For Peter, the most perfect son, love Mom. I'll just get those out of the way. One sunny morning, Jack made his mama breakfast in bed and a card that said,
I know the most perfect spot for a picnic.
So, Mama put on her very best hat and they set off for Prospect Park. The sky was clear and blue. It was a perfect day for a picnic. They walked around the corner and through the big park gate. They followed a wooden path until they came to a lake. The water was calm. It seemed like the most perfect spot, so Jack helped his mama into the boat. But suddenly, who knows why, a flock of ducks flapped their wings and cried, quack, quack, quack. The noise startled Mama. Splash! She fell into the lake. Splash! Jack fell in too. Brrr. Jack and Mama were wet and cold, so they went to dry off in the sun. It seemed like the most perfect spot, but suddenly, who knows why, 5 riders on horseback came galloping by. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, splat. Split-splat, the horses kicked up mud. It got all over Mama and Jack. So Jack took his mama to the carousel where they'd be safe from ducks and horses. It seemed like the most perfect spot, but suddenly, who knows why, the carousel went around, whoosh, 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 very fast. Woo! The ride made Mama dizzy, and she could not find her hat. There were gray clouds in the sky. Jack and Mama were too tired and too hungry to look for Mama's hat. They plopped down in the meadow. It was a noisy yak, 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 yak. And before they could eat, it began to rain. Pitter, patter, pitter, patter, pitter, pat. And suddenly, who knows why, a pack of dogs ran past barking, arf, arf, woof, woof. And then it began to pour.
This park does not have the most perfect spot for a picnic,
Jack said. So he took his mama by the hand and they ran through a park gate. They did not look back. They ran around the corner, splish, splash, squish. They ran through the wet streets and all the way up the stairs. Back home to the best picnic spot. Just Mama and Jack. and the dog they named Spot. The most perfect Spot. The end. The next book on our list is a good one. It's by Steve Antoni, and it's called Thank You, Mr. Panda. Thank you, Mr. Panda. Who are all the presents for, Mr. Panda?
My friends. This is for Mouse.
A present for me, Mr. Panda? But it's too big.
It's the thought that counts.
This is for Octopus. A gift for me, Mr. Panda? But I have 8 legs.
It's the thought that counts. This is for Elephant.
I will open it later.
And this is for Mountain Goat.
Something for me, Mr. Panda. But it's too long.
It's the thought that counts.
Who's the last present for, Mr. Panda? It's for you. Thank you, Mr. Panda.
You're welcome, but remember, it's the thought that counts.
The end. The next book on the list. The next book on the list is called Dog Breath. Dog Breath. The Horrible Trouble with Halitosis by Dave Pilkey. There once was a dog named Hallie who lived with the Tosis family. Halitosis was a very good dog, but she had one problem. Halitosis had horrible breath. Whenever Halitosis opened her mouth, horrible things happened. When children took Halitosis for a walk, everyone else walked on the other side of the street. Even skunks avoided Halitosis. But the real trouble started one day when Grandma Tosis stopped by for a cup of tea. And Hallie jumped up to say hello. Mr. and Mrs. Tosis were not amused.
Something has to be done about that smelly dog,
they said. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. Tosis decided to find a new home for Hallie. The children knew that the only way they could save their dog was to get rid of her bad breath. So they took Halitosis to the top of a mountain that had a breathtaking view. They hoped that the breathtaking view would take Hallie's breath away, but it didn't. Next, the children took Halitosis to a very exciting movie. They hoped that all the excitement would leave Hallie breathless, but it didn't. Finally, the children took Halitosis to a carnival. They hoped that Hallie would lose her breath on the speedy roller coaster. But that idea stunk too. The plans to change Hallie's bad breath had failed. Now, only a miracle could save Halitosis. Sadly, the 3 friends said goodnight, unaware that a miracle was just on the horizon. Later that night, when everyone was sound asleep, 2 sneaky burglars crept into the Tosis house. The 2 burglars were tiptoeing through a dark, quiet room when suddenly they came upon Halitosis. "Yikes!" whispered one burglar. "It's a big, mean, scary dog." "Ah, don't be silly," whispered the other burglar. "That's only a cute little fuzzy puppy." The 2 burglars giggled at the sight of such a friendly little dog. "That dog couldn't hurt a fly," whispered one burglar. "Come here, Poochie, Poochie, Poochie," whispered the other. So Halitosis came over and gave the burglars a nice, big kiss. The next morning, the Toast's family awoke to find two burglars passed out cold on their living room floor. It was a miracle. The Toast's family got a big reward for turning in the crooks, and soon, Hallie Toast was the most famous crime-fighting dog in the country. In the end, Mr. and Mrs. Toast changed their minds about finding a new home for Hallie. They decided to keep their wonderful watchdog after all. Because life without Hallie Toast just wouldn't make any sense. The end. The next book on the list is by Kimberly and James Dean, and it's called Pete the Cat and the Perfect Pizza. Pete the Cat and the Perfect Pizza Party. Pete the Cat loves pizza. Pete the Cat loves parties too. Pete had an idea of what he could do. He would have the perfect pizza party. You are invited to Pete's Pizza Party. Bring your swimsuits, games, funs, music. Pete's friends all arrived. It was time to build the perfect pizza together. That would make the pizza even better. Pete thought the perfect pizza would be pepperoni with extra cheese. It's a party, a pepperoni pizza party. But everyone did not agree. Callie said,
Pepperoni would be just fine, but I really like pretzels on mine.
Pete and the gang were puzzled. Pretzels? Well, that's something new. But maybe pretzels could be groovy too. It's a party, a pepperoni pretzel pizza party. Squirrel said,
Pepperoni and pretzels would be just fine, but I really love pistachios on mine.
Pete and the gang were puzzled. Pistachios? Well, that's something new. But maybe pistachios could be groovy too. It's a party, a pepperoni pretzel pistachio pizza party. Grumpy Toad said,
Pepperoni pretzels and pistachios would be just fine, but I really love pickles on mine.
Pete and the gang were puzzled. Pickles? Well, that's something new. But maybe pickles could be groovy too. It's a party, a pepperoni pretzel pistachio pickle party. Gus said,
Pepperoni pretzels, pistachios, and pickles would be just fine, but I really love popcorn on mine.
Pete and the gang were puzzled. Popcorn? Well, that's something new, but maybe popcorn could be groovy too. It's a party, a pepperoni pretzel pistachio pickle popcorn pizza party. Alligator said,
Pepperoni pretzels, pistachio pickles, and popcorn would be just fine, but I really love papaya on mine.
Now, Pete and the gang were really puzzled. Papaya? Well, that's something new, but maybe papaya could be groovy too. It's a party, a pepperoni pretzel pistachio pickle popcorn papaya pizza party. Pete and the gang piled the pepperoni pretzels, pistachios, pickles, popcorn, and papaya on top. The pizza was so high, they had to stop. Ding! The pizza was done. Trying something new might be fun. They all built up the courage to take the first bite, and the pepperoni pretzel, pistachio, pickle, popcorn, papaya pizza was out of sight dynamite just right. In the end, the perfect pizza is a pizza shared with friends. The end. The next book on the list is a good one. It's called Hazel the Handful. And it's by Jamie Michalak and illustrated by Matt Myers. Hazel the Handful.
In my home, I look big. No? Let me give you the grand tour. My toy box, my blanket, my favorite toy, Chuck the Pig, my second favorite toy, Bob the Lobster, my ride, and my chew toy. This is Bee, my girl. She likes to dance with me. Shake-a, 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 and oops, crash. Oh, Bee, says Mom, you are a handful. Guess what? I'm a handful too. Together, me and Bee are sensational. This is a sensational day with Bee. 8 a.m., first I go on my business trip. Bee waits while I take care of business. Excuse me. I show the big dogs who's boss. Sometimes I cruise in my ride. People stop to say, "What a cutie patootie." Patootie? I am not a patootie. I am a very important business dog. 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., I take maybe 24 naps. 4 p.m., photo shoot. Hazel, darling, Bee says in a funny voice, you look sensational. Like my faces? I love Bee face, people food face, very important business dog face, and squirrel face. 5:30 p.m., dinner number 1. 5:31 p.m., dinner number 2. Okay, just one bite, says Bee. 8:30 p.m., at bedtime, I look at Bee and think, Bee, I love you. I can't wait to do all of this again tomorrow. Wah, wah. But those were the good old days. Life is different since the baby moved in. Every day it makes loud noises and stinkity stink stinks. Before the baby, Bee and I played my favorite game. I drop Chuck the pig, Bee picks him up. I drop Chuck the pig, Bee picks him up. Now, Bee leaves Chuck the pig on the floor. Look at him. Does he seem happy about this? Now Bee takes the baby on my business trips. People stop to say, oh, what a cutie patootie baby. What? Is it not clear I am the patootie? You won't believe what that sneaky baby does next. The baby finds Froggy, my 14th favorite toy. The baby drops Froggy. Bee picks it up. The baby drops Froggy. I pick it up and run away. Now, Bee takes pictures of me and the baby. They are not sensational. At bedtime, I curl up by Bee's side. Good night, Hazel, she whispers. Does Bee still love me? When Nana visits, she brings me and the baby presents. Wow, look at those cute little booties, Nana says. Booties? Very important business dogs do not wear booties. Nana, you go too far. This is all your fault, baby. Nana, could you please take our family photo? Asked Mom. Say cheese, says Nana. Wait, don't forget about me. Hazel, here I come. Whee! Woohoo!
Hazel, stop!
Cries Dad. I try to stop, but booties have no brakes. Crash! Oh, Hazel, says Mom, you are a handful. This is not what I'd call a sensational day. Now, what will make me feel better? My blanket? Where's my blanket anyway? Surprise, surprise, it's in the baby's room. I hide under it. It's in a just me, no Bee Hazel ball. I wake up to people sounds. Where could she be? Asked Mom.
Did she go out?
Asked Dad.
We've looked everywhere.
We have to find her,
Says Mom. She's part of our family. Hazel!
Hazel!
Shouts Bee. Then she begins to cry. Bee! I run, run, run. Into her arms.
Oh, Hazel,
B says.
I thought you left us.
And then it's an everybody is together again hug. Almost everybody. The baby sniffles. It drools like a puppy. It pets my head. Here's something I like about the baby. It's messy. Here's some crumbs I'll eat later. Maybe the baby isn't so bad. I have an idea. I go to my toy box and bring him Chuck the pig. The end. The next book on the list is a good one. It's called Naptastrophe by Jarrett Krosoczka. Naptastrophe. It seemed that nobody listened to Lucy when she said,
I'm not tired.
So she found herself in her room with the lights off during daytime. There must have been a mistake, she yelled.
I'm not tired.
But nothing. Lucy thought of all the fun she was missing. She could be playing with her toys. Her toys probably missed her. But what if they didn't? What if they were having a dance party without her? After an eternity, Lucy's bedroom door opened.
I'm not tired,
she said proudly. She hadn't slept, but now it was too late for nap time. She and her daddy needed to run errands.
See? I told you I wasn't tired.
Lucy called her daddy on a banana.
Not tired,
she said, but he didn't answer his phone.
Still not tired,
Lucy shouted moments later.
Not tired, not tired, not tired, not tired, not tired.
Look, exclaimed Lucy.
Candy.
We're not getting any candy today, sweetheart, said her daddy.
We'll just get a few,
said Lucy. I said no, her daddy reminded her. And then it hit her. The lights, the noise, her knees wobbled, her eyes drooped. Lucy could not hold it any longer. It was a naptastrophe, 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 naptastrophe. Her arms flapped, her fists locked. She got stuck to the floor. It was time to go. At dinner, Lucy heard the word bedtime. She interrupted the grown-up talk to say,
I'm not tired,
just before... Splat! Good night, Lucy. The end. The next book on the list is a good one. It's called Pete the Cat and the Cool Caterpillar. Pete the Cat and the Cool Caterpillar. Pete is on a bug safari. He and his friends are looking for bugs. How many bugs can they find? Callie spots a tiny black ant.
It's building an anthill,
she says. Groovy, says Pete. Gus finds a round red ladybug in the mint patch. It has 9 spots, says Gus. Nice, says Pete. Marty sees a big black spider. It kinda fly, he says. Neat, says Pete. Pete finds a green caterpillar in the flower pot. I will bring it home to show Mom and Dad, he says. Mom helps Pete build a home for the caterpillar. They use a big jar. Dad puts lots of little holes in the lid for air. Pete puts the caterpillar in the jar. Pete puts some leaves in the jar for the caterpillar to eat. He adds a twig for it to crawl on. Good night, Pete, says Mom. Good night, Pete, says Dad. Good night, caterpillar, says Pete. When Pete wakes up, the caterpillar is gone. Where did it go? Did it run away? It is not gone, says Mom.
It did not run away.
Dad says.
Look,
They say. The caterpillar is inside there, says Mom. It's called a pupa. Will it stay in there forever? Pete asks.
no,
Says Dad.
the caterpillar is changing into something new.
What will it become? Pete asks. It's a surprise, says Mom. We must wait and see. Pete waits. Callie comes to visit.
Did it come out yet?
She asks. Not yet, says Pete. Pete waits some more. Gus comes to visit.
Did it come out yet?
He asks. Not yet, says Pete. Pete waits even longer. Marty comes to visit.
Did it come out yet?
He asks. Not yet, says Pete. Pete waits and waits and waits. Then one day, something finally happens. The pupa starts to wiggle. Something is happening, says Pete. It wiggles some more. Everyone comes over to watch. The pupa cracks open. Something is coming out. What can it be? A head pokes out, then some legs, and then two colorful wings. Boop, boop. The caterpillar changed into a beautiful butterfly. Wow, says Pete. A butterfly slowly moves its wings up and down. It is ready to fly. They take the jar to the park. Time to say goodbye, says Dad. Pete opens the lid of the jar. The butterfly flaps its wings. It flutters out of the jar and lands on Pete's nose. That tickles, he says. Then the butterfly flies up into the sky. Bye-bye, butterfly, everyone says. Let's find a new caterpillar, says Pete. Change is pretty cool. The end. The next book on the list is by Megan Wagner Lloyd, illustrated by Brianne Farley, and it's called Building Books. Building Books. Katie loved building with blocks. She loved the way they clicked as she pressed them together. She loved the way they wobbled as she stacked them up high. She even loved the way they crashed as they toppled to the floor. But most of all, Katie loved the way she felt when she built something brand new. Owen loved reading books. He loved the way they swooshed as she pulled them off the shelves. He loved the way they rustled as he turned the pages. He even loved the way the paper smelled. But most of all, Owen loved the way he felt when he read something brand new. Katie had to read books for school, but Katie did not want to read. When Katie tried to read, her hands felt squirmy. When Katie tried to read, her legs felt wiggly. When Katie tried to read, she wished she were building instead. Ugh! So, when she was supposed to be reading, Katie built castles. She built cities. She built worlds. Building's the best, proclaimed Katie. Nope, reading rules, countered Owen. Katie scowled at her brother. He glared right back. They scowled and glared, and they each wondered what was wrong with the other one. Building's better.
Reading's better. Building.
Reading.
Building.
Reading. The librarian seemed to appear out of nowhere. May I suggest a suitable alternative? A stack of books for you, the librarian said to Katie, to read. And a stack of books, she said to Owen, to shelve. Katie squirmed and wiggled in the big library chair. She missed the clicking and the wobbling and the crashing of her blocks. But most of all, she missed building something brand new. Katie stood up.
Building's way better than reading,
she said. But Owen didn't answer. His nose was buried in a book. Katie picked up a thick book from the library shelves. She wanted to see if it could balance on its side. It could. Katie picked out more books. She liked the way they swooshed as she peeled them off the shelves. Katie began to build. She almost finished building a castle, but when she reached up to balance the last book on the very tippy top, boom! Katie looked around to make sure no one was watching. Castle Engineering is the book she found. Owen finished his book with a snap and looked about in surprise. He had never seen so many books on the floor before. He hoped the librarian wouldn't make him shelve them all. He liked reading books, not arranging them, but one book was balanced on its side. Owen found himself wondering if another book could balance on top of it. It could. Owen looked around to make sure no one else was watching. And then he began to build. He liked the way the books thumped as he pressed them together. He liked the way they wobbled as he stacked them up high. He even liked the way they crashed as they toppled to the floor. But most of all, he liked building something brand new. "Look what I made," Owen called to Katie. At the same time, Katie ran to Owen.
"Have you read this?" she squealed. "What about this one and this one and this one?"
Katie hugged an armful of books.
"I love reading."
Owen grinned. "And I love building." Katie and Owen sat down in the big library chair and read together. And then they began to build. The end. The next book on the list is How I Defeated My Nightmares, Book 2, Beans and Brains. When will I be finished with all this homework? How I Defeated My Nightmares, Beans and Brains. Today, I wanted to play soccer, but Mom grabbed my ball and said, "You have to stay in and finish your homework first." "But I don't want to work. I want to play." That night, I began to have nightmares again. A large group of monsters used to visit me in my sleep, but I defeated them with my stinky bean power farts. After that, we made up and became friends. But this time, the nightmare was about my mom. In it, she grew big and tall. No matter how fast I ran, she caught me and crammed me into a bottle. Then, she forced me to do homework for 100 years until I became a toothless old man. I am the unluckiest boy in the whole world. When I'm awake, I have to do homework. When I'm asleep, I have to do homework. What should I do? In my nightmares, I never run away fast enough. So that night, I put on my roller skates to speed away from my mom. There's no way she'll catch me now. But it didn't work. I might have been fast, but Mom was faster than lightning. She rode into my dreams on a cool green skateboard. She caught me again, and I had to do even more homework. If I can't escape, maybe I can hide my homework instead. Before going to bed, I rolled it up and slipped it into my dad's sock. My mom won't be able to make me do homework if she can't find it. But the socks transformed into monsters and tattled on me. Since they're dad's socks, Mom dragged him into the nightmare too. This time, she made us do homework for 200 years. Mom might be able to boss Dad and me around, but she can't tell Granny what to do. "Granny, I'm afraid of nightmares. Can I sleep with you tonight?" "As long as you don't wet the bed," chuckled Granny. "Will you protect me?" I asked. "Of course. I'll always protect my grandson." It turns out sleeping with Granny was useless because her dog turned into a monster. Mom used the dog to catch us, and they stood guard while she forced us to do 300 years of homework. The adults couldn't help, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. That night, I crept into the closet. The monsters from my old nightmares were waiting for me. The Monster King hugged me tightly.
"We miss you and your farts so much."
"I need your help chasing Mom out of my nightmares," I said.
"That'll be easy for us. We're professionals, and your mom is just a rookie."
the Monster King replied confidently.
Monsters, move out!
At the king's command, they gave a shout and rushed into Mom's dream. The monster returned carrying a little girl.
Look, we caught your mom!
That's not my mom. That's my little sister, I shouted. It looks like the monsters went into the wrong dream. I hope my sister didn't have nightmares tonight. The next night, the monsters decided to try again. This time, they had a better plan. They brought their monster truck.
Don't worry, we'll get it right this time. We're professionals.
I jumped on board and we headed towards my mom's dream. We traveled a long, winding path until we arrived at a big, dark cave. A loud rumble came from within. Wait, that's not a cave. That's my mom's mouth. But it was too late. We rushed in and she quickly spat us out. We all went flying out of the closet. Honey, are you okay? Cried Mom from the hall. She came in and saw me sitting on the ground. I could tell she was worried. Why aren't you in bed? She asked. I was having a nightmare, I replied. That's weird. I was having a nightmare too. A bunch of bugs tried to crawl into my mouth. Every night that week, the monsters and I tried to enter Mom's dreams, but Mom caught us every time. She forced us to do homework for 400 years. The monsters didn't want to do homework because they're used to playing all night. Friday night after school, I visited my monster friends.
Oh no! We are not doing more homework, they cried.
No, we're done with the homework for the week. It's the weekend. Tonight we're going to have some fun, I said. Remember my farting? I'm going to show you the secret behind my terrible toots. Everyone, have some beans. The monsters were so excited to learn the secret farting trick that they began singing and dancing.
Beans, beans, let's eat 'em up. A great big bowl, not just a cup. These yummy beans will make us fart so everyone can do their part. Farts, farts, they sure do smell. Monster noises, think they're swell. A great loud bang and a tiny toot. Our stinky farts will be a hoot.
We entered Mom's dream and took aim. I counted down. 3, 2, 1. Pop, 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 pop. Surprise, the farts turned into popcorn. Let's celebrate. Ever since that night, Mom stopped entering my dreams. She even started eating beans like me. I always do my homework right away to avoid Mom's farts. Yuck! The end. The next book is a groovy one. It's called Pete the Cat, Rock On Mom and Dad. Pete the Cat, Rock On Mom and Dad by James Dean. It's Monday morning and Pete the Cat is late for school. His alarm didn't go off. Does Pete have to worry? Not at all. Dad has made him breakfast. Mom has packed his backpack. Pete is even going to make the bus. Pete knows that Mom and Dad do so much for him. Mom helps him practice baseball. Dad takes him to his guitar lessons. Every day, Mom and Dad do 100 little things, and Pete realizes that he's never really said thank you. Today, Pete is going to surprise Mom and Dad with something totally awesome. But what should he do? He could make them breakfast in bed. He could pick them a bouquet of flowers. He could clean the house or mow the lawn or change the oil in Dad's car. That all seems nice, but it doesn't seem like enough. Pete really wants to do something that they'll never, ever forget. Pete talks to his big brother, Bob. Bob is the smartest guy he knows. What can I do to tell Mom and Dad how much I love them? Pete asks.
It doesn't matter what you do,
Bob says.
it's how you do it. So long as it's from the heart, Mom and Dad would totally dig it.
That gives Pete an idea. There is one thing Pete can do better than any other cat he knows. Rock out! So, Pete writes Mom and Dad a song, and it goes a little something like this. Mom and Dad, you are the best. I love you more than all the rest. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I cannot count all the things you do. I know it's all because of you. Yes, it is that I love music and I love art. And I love you with all my heart. Yes, I do. It's the best surprise ever. The end. The next book on the list is called Summer is Here. And this is by Renee Watson and B. Jackson. Summer is here. Summer is here. She tiptoes into my room, waking me up with her light. Her sun rays tickle me, whispering. Rise and shine. No dark clouds in the sky. It's a perfect day for play. What joy will summer bring me today? Summer brings me a feast of fresh fruit. Fat mangoes bursting with juice, red, deep strawberries that stain my hands, blackberries so sweet and tangy. I eat till I'm full, full, full. Summer brings me and my friends to the pool. We dive, freestyle, backstroke. Our bright swimsuits float in the water like lily pads. Summer brings me a dance. 2 jump ropes leap and move and tap, tap, tap on the pavement. I plunge in, and with every turn of the ropes, I show off my moves. Summer brings me gardens overflowing. My family and friends gather at the park for a cookout under trees full of leaves to shade us. I smell summer in the charcoal on the grill that makes the food sizzle, 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 and in the fresh cut grass that makes my eyes water. I feel her in the splash and burst of water balloons. I feel the warmth of her sun on my skin. Summer sings me a song, serenading me from the ice cream truck. She brings me ice cream cones and ice pops and all my favorite sweet treats. I see her in the gigantic bubbles that hang on to my wand, then float away. Gone, gone, gone. Summer brings me sunsets that paint the sky orange and purple. I feel her breath blowing through my open window. Her moon, a bright nightlight watching over me. Her stars shimmer like spilled glitter across the sky. I whisper a wish and say goodbye to the day. I wish summer would stay. The end. The next book on the list is a good one. It's called Doobie Doobie Moo. Doobie Doobie Moo by Doreen Cronin and Betsy Lewin. Farmer Brown keeps a very close eye on his animals. Every night he listens outside the barn door. Doobie Doobie Moo. The cows snore. Fa la 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 ba. The sheep snore. Wacka wacka quack. Ducks snore. Duck keeps a very close eye on Farmer Brown. Every morning, Duck borrows his newspaper. One day, an ad catches his eye. Talent show open to all. Where? The county fair. When? Saturday. First prize, a trampoline. Second prize, a box of chalk. Third prize, a veggie chop-o-matic. As soon as Farmer Brown opened his paper, he knew the animals were up to something. Farmer Brown watched them closely all day. He watched them from above. He watched them from below. He even watched them upside down. Outside the barn, late at night, he heard, "Doobie doobie moo, fa la 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 ba, waka waka quack." Inside the barn, the cows rehearsed, "Twinkle twinkle little star, doobie 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 moo, doobie moo 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 moo." "Needs work," Duck noted. The sheeps rehearsed, "Home on the range, ba 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 ba, fa la ba 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 ba." Duck had them try it again, with more feeling. The pigs did an interpretive dance. "Waka waka quack," Duck snored. Day after day, Farmer Brown kept a very close eye on the animals. He watched them from the left. He watched them from the right. He even watched them in disguise. Outside the barn, night after night, he heard, "Doobie doobie moo, fa la 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 ba, waka waka quack." Inside the barn, night after night, the animals rehearsed. Finally, it was time for the county fair. Duck was pacing back and forth. The pigs were combing their hair. The cows were drinking tea with lemon. "They are up to something," thought Farmer Brown. Farmer Brown was not going to leave them alone. He loaded all the animals into the back of his truck and drove to the fair. When he got there, he heard, "Doobie doobie moo, ba la 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 ba, waka waka quack." He parked his truck and headed off to the free barbecue. When Farmer Brown was out of sight, the animals ran to the talent show desk and signed in. Cows, sheeps, and pigs. The cows sang, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, doobie 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 moo, doobie doobie moo moo moo." Two of the judges were clearly impressed. The sheep sang, "Home on the range, fa la 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 ba, fa la ba 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 ba." Three of the judges were clearly impressed. It was time for the pigs' interpretive dance, but they were sound asleep. Sloink, oink, oink, oink. All the judges were clearly annoyed. Duck really wanted that trampoline. He jumped on stage and sang, "Born to be Wild." Quack, 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 quack. The judges gave him a standing ovation. When Farmer Brown had got back to the truck, he heard, "Doobie doobie moo, fa la 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 ba, waka waka quack." The animals were exactly where he had left them. That night, Farmer Brown listened outside the barn door. "Doobie doobie boing, fa la 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 boing, waka waka boing." The animals won the trampoline. The end. The next book on the list is Pete the Cat, Pete's Big Lunch by James Dean. Pete the Cat, Pete's Big Lunch. Here comes Pete. It is lunchtime. Pete is ready to eat. What should Pete eat? A sandwich would be nice. Yes, Pete wants a sandwich. Pete opens the fridge. He takes out a loaf of bread. He finds a yummy fish. He adds tomato and mayo. Pete looks at his sandwich. It is too small. Something is missing. Pete knows what he needs. His sandwich needs an apple. Pete loves apples. His sandwich needs crackers. Crackers are crunchy. Pete loves crunchy crackers. Pete looks at his sandwich again. It is still too small. Pete is very hungry. Pete adds pickles. Pete adds cheese. Pete adds an egg. 2 hot dogs, a banana, and a can of beans. Something is missing. Pete adds ice cream. He takes 3 huge scoops. Pete's sandwich is too big for Pete to eat. Pete wonders what to do. Pete thinks and thinks. I've got it, Pete says. Pete calls all of his friends. He asks them to come over. Everyone goes to Pete's house. They are all hungry. Pete shows them his big lunch. Are you hungry? Asks Pete. Pete's sandwich is big enough for everyone. Dig in, says Pete. Pete's sandwich is good. Pete's sandwich is very good. Pete's sandwich is all gone. Pete's friends are full. They like Pete's big lunch. Thanks for lunch, Pete's friends say. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome, says Pete. Sharing is cool. The end. Last book on the list for tonight is going to be Dino Birthday. Dino Birthday by Lisa Wheeler. Illustrations by Barry Gott. Every dino has one day to spend in their own special way. A day that's better than the rest. Dino birthdays are the best. T-Rex is smiling. What's the reason? Autumn is his favorite season. It's also when his birthday falls. He celebrates with sporting balls. Football, baseball, soccer too. Basketball and something new. Kids take a break from games at noon to sing happy birthday tune. Thoughtful presents from each friend fill the table end to end. T-Rex unwraps and shouts, "Hooray! New books, new toys, new games to play!" He gives each guest his kind regards. Later, he'll send them thank you cards. Excitement over on the court. A famous player? He is too short. No, it's the pterodactyl twins, wearing sneakers, shorts, and grins. T-Rex, impressed by their disguise, takes photos with these goofy guys. A winter birthday's extra nice for sleds on hills and skates on ice. Maya Sara's so excited. Everyone's in town's invited. She preps and plans her special day and celebrates in her own way, throwing snowballs, building forts, enjoying all the season sports. In between the winter fun, hot chocolate served to everyone. Some eat donuts, some make s'mores, others choose to head indoors. A table holds a birthday feast and a sculpture of a beast. While the guests all eat their fill, Maya loves to ski downhill. She gazes up between the trees. Are those 2 Yetis wearing skis? No, it's the pterodactyl twins. The brothers wear fake Yeti skins. Maya loves their fuzzy suits. Let's pose for a photo shoot. Tricera's birthday comes in spring. This year, he's planned out everything. He sent out invites weeks ago. A party at the Skate and Glow. His birthday theme is outer space. He decorated this whole place with robots, planets, UFOs. Look at how the cosmos glows. The party room holds lots to eat. 2 kinds of pizza, veggie, meat. With cookies and snacks and loads of punch, it's a birthday kind of lunch. There's the cake Tricera brought. Look on top, an astronaut. When they can't eat any more, the guests roll out onto the floor. All the dinos love to skate. Forward, backward, figure 8. Round and round, then conga line. Tricera calls, it's limbo time. Kids skate under fast and slow. The winners go down low, low, low. Excitement at the soda station. Help! An alien invasion! Ah! No, it's the pterodactyl twins. They came here dressed like aliens. Triceratops enjoys the jest, takes photos with the costume guest. Summer birthdays are so cool. The Pteros have theirs at the pool. They choose an underwater theme. Dino mermaids reign supreme. Their cake employs a fish motif surrounded by a coral reef. Gummies shaped like little fish swim around the sea blue dish. All the dinosaurs have fun playing pool games in the sun. Marco, Polo, ring toss, rafts, and there at poolside, arts and crafts. Diplo does a daring dive. Will any of the crafts survive? Excitement at the water slide. Sharks in the water, run and hide. Tricera, Maya, T-Rex too. The three pop up and holler, boo! We swam up in this disguise hoping to surprise you guys. They take a photo with their friends, and that's how this year's birthday ends. But years are circles, and it's true, there's always something more to do. Something fun or something cool. When friends go back to Dino School. The end. Thank you for hanging out for story time. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.
3 more minutes.